In the last step I completed the rear axle, and now I'm beginning to work on the front axle, and that starts with the drive shafts. You got a front CVD dog bone. This gets this little coupler and it goes onto the stub axle. It all gets captured by this pin, and then I continue on moving to the spindle and carrier assembly.
Team Baxter.
I've got both front CVDs built, put a little bit of grease in there. It's the only thing I left out before I captured it in there with the pin. I put a little dab of grease in there so that it would rotate and go around as it's spinning. Now I just need to put these bearings, put 2 bearings in on each side of the knuckle. You get a bearing, large bearing of course. One there, put one on the other side, punch those in, and then I'm going to slide that CVD you just built right up in there. Also, I'm going to go ahead and install the carrier. Carrier slides in over the knuckle, and you have 2 pins that go in, one on either side. These pins are stepped. They have this small notch in them. That pin is notched so that when it goes into the hole, you can drive a set screw into that hole there and lock it in. After you get all this together, you slide your hex hub on there. It gets another pin through there. It goes all the way through, and it's secured by a large set screw that gets thread locked in. I've got 2 of these to complete, of course, one for each side. We'll get those built, and then I'll be right back. I got the first assembly together, and I've noticed that there's a little bit of slop here. I don't like that. Number one, it binds against this piece of plastic here as I turn it. So I have these shims left over from the bag A for no apparent reason. They fit this shaft here. So I'm taking this hub off. I'm going to drop these 4 shims on here. It's probably not coincidental that they fit right on there. All 4 of those shims on there. Slide them all the way down. Put my drive shaft back on, which fits exactly my hex hub. A little bit more Loctite thread lock on my set screw. Go ahead and reseat that. So that's tightened again, and no more slop, not moving. Worst case, if this was a bad move, I can go back in very easily and pull those off, but I like that better. And of course I'm going to do that on both sides. So I'm finished with the 2 knuckle carrier setups. They're on there pivoting just like they should. These bottoms of these carriers get slipped into the A arms that I've already separated and clipped out. Each of these A arms get one of these small pins. The manual lists these as threaded pins all the way through, but they are not. They have a step to them. So slide that in on each side. And then after that, these arms get attached to this centerpiece. Get a little reinforcement brace. This is all metal. This goes underneath this. Arms get attached to it. And then on top of all of this goes the piece that I assembled first with the shock tower and the front drive shaft. All this gets screwed together with a variety of screws, but really simple process here, just pretty much screwing all these current parts together. So we'll go ahead and get this done off camera since it's so easy, and get back when it's all completed. I got the arms attached just as I showed. You have to pay special attention to make sure that they don't bind up and everything moves freely. I found it very easily. It's just one screw turn from having this too tight so that it won't turn, or having this so loose that it barely grips the end of the screw. Also, this bottom plate requires that you put 2 long screws all the way through it. There's a screw running all the way through this. This back nut was extremely hard to put in. I ended up using a pair of pliers to hold the nut down because my cross wrench does not fit into that tight hole. There's no clearance on the sides in order to get the side of the wrench in there. So I ended up using pliers. Scarred the metal up a little bit, but no big deal. So the arms are assembled, and now I'll continue with installing the shock tower and the differential that I built earlier. So the front end's done, and now it's time to move on to assembling the turnbuckles and getting the steering assembly done. This is pretty much the end of the front end, except for the little bumper that goes in front. This is most of it together right here. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting the turnbuckles to link all this together, and then this can start getting prepared to go onto the chassis.